And welcome back to another installment of the Pals Podcast. I am your co-host, Ricky Liordi. And my name is Danielle Galarno, and I'm your other co-host. I'm kidding.
And I'm Danielle Galarno, and welcome back to the Pals Podcast. Ricky is annoying, and this is supposed to be a solo intro. But today, who do we have on, Ricky?
We had Devin Cooper on today. Country singer. Actually, country and like classic rock mixed. Danielle just can't stay away sometimes. We had Devin Cooper on. He's a country singer from Calgary, Alberta. He's honestly like one of the nicest guys we've had on the podcast in a long time. Like really genuinely good dude. He's doing a lot. He's got an album coming up with a new single coming out next week. The album will be out in the fall. And we always do this, but we forget to talk about music half the time because we end up just talking about like other parts of music, not so much about his music. But singles coming out next week, albums coming out in the fall, and then he'll have a tour later. But just really fun to chat with him and have a good time. He's off to go play a couple shows, a private show and then a show in Cavendish. So really exciting stuff for him, and he's one to watch for, especially in the Canadian country music scene. So Devin, thanks for being a pal. Thanks for coming on. And other than that, if you guys, we hope you subscribe, like, all those fun things, and give Devin a follow. And other than that, Danny, what do we say? LFG, let's fucking go! Yeah, it's a compliment. Like,
is it? I don't know. I don't see it.
In Toronto, for sure. The guy's like, as soon as you walked in, I was like, "Fuck, Austin Matthews." It's definitely a compliment.
I've got it probably like half a dozen times.
Oh, okay. So you have got it.
Yeah, and I have never. I mean, I don't see the comparison, but
Do you know who I get a lot? Mark Ruffalo.
okay.
Yeah, I don't see that one either. But
I get Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
I totally see that.
Yeah.
I get that like often.
Yeah.
And it sucks when it's actually like famous celebrities that know her, because I'm like, hey, this makes it more weird. Like, it makes it weird.
I'd be like, yeah, I am Kelly Clarkson. What's up?
Yeah. Once I had someone come take pictures of me at What a Bagel on Spadina, and like thought I was just like eating there like Kelly Clarkson, and they like made like a whole round. I was like, hey, no, please, like this is embarrassing.
That's all right.
Kind of weird though.
It is what it is. But Devin, welcome to the podcast. How's the Toronto trip been treating you so far?
It's been great. Caught up with some pals. Catching up with some
You
more
pals?
pals. Didn't plan that, but it worked out. Yeah, it's been great. Hanging out. Played a show for North by Northeast on Friday night. And then kind of had the weekend to hang out, like I said.
Have you been to Toronto many times, or?
Not a ton. I was here. We spent like a week here last year after the CCMAs and kind of ran around a little bit. But it's like, it's a pretty big city.
Yeah, there's so much to do here.
We spent a couple of days here, and we were also staying in Mississauga. So we were like transiting and Ubering in every day. So that was, it's not super fun.
No, definitely. Mississauga is nice, but it's not Toronto.
No,
like,
totally.
But what the CCMAs last year was in Hamilton.
No, that was CCMAOs.
CCMAOs. That's what we did. CCMAs.
Oh, you did CCMAOs.
We did CCMAOs. We didn't do the CCMAs.
Yeah, no.
So we did something different. You know what the CCMAOs are?
It's Ontario.
CMAOs, the Country Music.
Yeah,
Association of
CMAOs. Sorry,
Ontario.
we mess it up
We're all
every
over
single
the
time.
place.
We're all
All
yeah,
over
we're
the place.
disaster.
But how was it last year, the CMAOs?
It was great. CCMAs.
CCMAs.
The CCMAs were great.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was nominated for my first award, which was really cool, for Creative Team of the Year. So that was sweet to just like, we didn't win it, but it's cool to like sit there.
But
and
it's cool to
see
get
your name
nominated
be-
for like such a cool category too, because it had to do with like your whole album.
Totally. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was great. They're always a good time. It's like a big family reunion.
That's what I feel like. Country music is one of those genres where everybody knows everybody.
Absolutely.
And there's like no beef. Nobody hates each other. No one's like diss tracking each other.
Well, you don't know. There might be
am I
beef.
wrong?
No, it's like, I mean, if there is beef, it stops pretty quick.
I feel like everyone's just like wants to have a beer together, just like have a good
100%.
time.
It doesn't. If there's beef, it never lasts.
Yeah,
You can't-
it's
you
just
can't
like
have that.
everyone's there to just have fun, have a good
Because
time.
we all like write songs together. We all play shows together. A lot of us like share band members and stuff like that. So it's like you can't be.
Who's like someone you're most excited to see that you don't get to see often when you go to these kind of things?
Probably good friend of mine, Ben Chase. He's originally from PEI. He lived in Calgary for a couple years, so we became super tight when he lived in Calgary, and now he lives in Nashville. and he's actually in Ontario today. So random, but I'm going to see him in Kelowna next week, and then usually only CCMAs or like big festivals or things like that I get to see him. But
Oh, that's nice though.
Yeah.
Have you thought about going down to Nashville?
yeah, I've been down there quite a bit. I usually go a couple trips a year.
But no plans to like stay down there?
No plans to live there as of now. I like going back and forth.
Yeah, well, you get the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah, I got so much family in Alberta, and my girlfriend's family's all in Alberta, and we like family. So
It makes sense. Like, what about the Stampede there? Like, is that like, because I haven't been to Calgary in, I don't know, maybe a decade. No, maybe 2 decades now, aging myself. But I know the Stampede's like the biggest thing ever. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Is it like, does it just take over the city?
it does. It's like pretty much end of June, like all the corporate people start having like Stampede parties, and then July 5th to like 16th is just like the city shut down. It's just
It's just
Stampede.
a long time for like the city to shut down like that. Like I feel like if Toronto had, we wouldn't be able to sustain that. Like Toronto can't.
no.
It's like 10 days of no one really goes to work. No one really does anything. You just kind of party.
He's like,
That's my
"Okay,
guy, yeah,
I'm going."
I was supposed to go this year. That's why I'm asking. I was supposed to go, and then I just had to recently not cancel. I didn't book it. I was too busy. Life's coming at me too quick, so I decided to just like, you know what, maybe I'll use that weekend to relax, stay local, and now I play pickleball. So
Okay.
I'm playing a fucking pickleball tournament in Albany, New York, of all places.
Oh my god, that's where Paige DeSorbo's from.
I have no idea.
My
who that
favorite
is.
reality person.
Do you watch any reality show?
Not really.
Neither do I.
No.
I hate them.
I love him. But
It's,
like, sorry, that was a random fact, and I knew you wouldn't know, but anyway.
Watch like reruns of the Osbournes once in a while, like the
Yeah,
OG
stuff like that.
reality
What
show.
do you do when you're not playing music then? Like, what are hobbies for you?
In the summer, I golf a lot.
Oh, are you good?
Not bad.
What's your handicap?
Like 6.
Fuck, you're really good then. My brother's like a fairly good golfer. I think he's like a 7 or 8, and like that's our good golfer of the group.
See, he's
Yeah.
Matthews.
Yeah.
Off season
He golfs-
golfing.
yeah, golfing.
He's a good golfer.
Well, maybe he gets a little bit far in the postseason, right? That's it. Well, what else? So golf.
And ride motorcycles a lot. My dad has a custom motorcycle shop and hot rod shop, so always.
So you grew up around it.
That's what I grew up around, all that kind of stuff.
So how'd you get into music?
Music was always being played in my house when I was a kid. Like my parents always had music cranked, and there wasn't like a ton of family members that played. Like my grandpa played like the French horn in the army, and like some of his brothers like played guitar a little bit. And I have some cousins that play music, but no one like directly around me was playing all the time. But it was just music was cranked in the house, and
Specifically country music?
no, not country music at all. Actually,
So what got you into country music?
it was like a lot of Southern rock and blues that my dad listened to. So like ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Leonard Skinner. And then my mom was like hard rock and hair metal. So like Motley Crue, Judas Priest, all that kind of stuff. So that's all that was played in my house. Never country. But I grew up in a small town. So you're like surrounded by all these country activities. And everywhere you go, people have like the local country station cranked. And everyone's like drinking Bud Light, going to rodeos, doing stuff like that. You have river parties and like bush parties and things like that. So that's what I grew up doing, was going to all that stuff. And so I
The
started.
heavy metal lyrics didn't relate to you as much.
I don't know if they like. I love heavy metal. I don't know if the lyrics really relate to anything. That's gonna come back and bite me one day.
I think of mine. Like, heavy metal's the one I can appreciate. Like, you know, the AC/DCs, the Motley Crues, the Led Zeppelins, but I can appreciate the talent. And I've
Totally.
seen AC/DC perform. I've seen Led Zeppelin perform. I can appreciate how talented they are,
Yeah.
especially at this long in their careers. Like, they've
Totally.
been doing this for 40-ish, give or take, years.
Yeah,
I just can't listen to it.
That's
I'm just
fair.
like, it's just not for me.
totally.
But like, I picture you in a small town, maybe a couple thousand people, doing all these like country activities, got your headphones in, just like banging out Thunderstruck on your walk to like the forest party or something.
Literally. So I mean, I love like all the music side of it. I think that's. I'll skip ahead. I think that's what's cool about country now is you can kind of bring in all these different production elements, and you can have like more rock stuff or more like blues, southern rock stuff,
Yeah.
and then it just goes along with a story. And if you could strip it down and play with an acoustic guitar and tell a story that's going to resonate with people, that's kind of what defines country now. Not necessarily the production around it, because there's so much pop stuff and there's rock stuff. There's like, it's all over the map.
We're right now, it's like the biggest year, I think the past 2 years, of like different artists coming, like pop artists coming into the country scene. How do you feel about those kind of artists coming into the country scene, like the Beyoncés of the world? And
I think
Post Malone.
yeah,
I think it's great. I mean, basically at the end of the day, it's just like storytelling. There's like, if you got a story you want to tell, got a song you want to share, got something you want to tell that you think is going to resonate with people, it's like country music is kind of the space to do that.
No, I agree. Do you know what's funny? I didn't realize this much, but country music, like you said, it's always about telling a story. Like, you know, rap, it could be about like drugs, money, and sex. And like, you know, EDM is about like living life and having fun and like love. Country's always a story. A lot of times about love, but it's always a story. Like I made a TikTok about this the other day. I was like, my journal post, I feel like could literally be a country song right now.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like some of the Morgan Wallen just took
except
my
you're
journal.
not talented.
That's what I said. I didn't say I could do it. I said it could be. Like maybe if I gave him my journal for a week, maybe we would have a song. I don't know. Like
maybe
a
give a shot.
No, we won't.
You don't want anyone to read that.
No, yeah, nobody needs to read that. No, but it's funny because again, a lot of people. There's so many different production elements that have made it into country lately, especially with like. Again, the rise of some of these other artists, Beyonce's, Post Malone's, like, you know, who else has done it recently? Lil Nas X is country/rap, whatever.
Yeah.
There's been all these other artists coming in and using the elements of storytelling of country, but bringing in the elements from their background, right?
Absolutely.
Super cool.
I think there's probably a bigger crossover between like hip hop and country than you would think. Cause like, even like you were saying, they like in rap and hip hop and stuff, they sing about like sex and drugs and all that kind of stuff, but that's their like lived experience and story. That's the story that they know how to tell.
Yeah.
Country would just tell a different story, but it's still.
Yeah. Well, and then because you also see it go the other way too. Like someone like Taylor Swift, who used to be country, is now more pop.
Yeah.
But she's also taken the idea of that storytelling, just changed maybe some of the instruments and some of the production sides and made it more mainstream. Cause like we were talking offline, like like that's the top.
Yeah, 100%.
Who would be one of your dream collabs to work with?
Writing and performing.
Oh yeah, good one. We need to start separating this question.
Yeah.
Writing and performing.
Yeah.
I think it's two very different questions.
You are 100% right.
Totally.
Yeah.
So in the studio versus...
Well, I think writing, there's a couple people I'd really love to write with. Can I have more than one answer?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. No, we're not going to limit you.
What's one person? It's like...
Guess. You only get one answer.
Only one answer. For writing, probably Kip Moore and then Jaron Johnson from the Cadillac 3. I don't know if you know who the Cadillac 3 are. They're like...
I know Kip Moore, though. I'm happy about that one.
Yeah. So Kip and Jaron write a lot together, and Jaron's producing a bunch of Kip's new stuff. And Jaron is like a massive hit writer. Has written tunes for Tim McGraw and Keith Urban and all this stuff, but then has the Cadillac 3, which is this like southern rock, like outlaw country band where they just kind of do whatever they want. And so it's kind of cool to see how the same person can write all these hit tunes and then have this like super badass like outlaw country band. And
it's kind of like a side, it's like a different identity.
Absolutely. So I think it'd be really cool to sit down with him and write. One, because I love the Cadillac 3's music and see how that correlates, because their songs are incredibly well written, but they're not like the Tim McGraw, Keith Urban type productions that go with them. Yeah. So I think it'd be really cool to write with him and see, coming from my background, of the things that I like, and obviously his background was a similar thing.
Okay, now to perform with.
It's a hard one. There's so
many.
many.
It is a hard one.
Well, while you think, Dan, if you were a country singer right now, you could perform a song, a hit song, like a banger, and be part of it, who would yours be?
Kelsey Ballerini.
Okay. I know who that is now.
Yeah, you met her.
Yeah, I did meet her. Okay, that's a good answer.
Or Casey Musgraves. Are they country?
Yeah,
they're both country.
Those are both great
I love
answers.
them.
Okay.
What about you?
If I was part of the song,
Zach Bryan.
yeah,
Sorry,
Zach Bryan.
twist my arm. I'll sing a duet
I'd
with
be
him.
on the right now his stage is a T and he's on one end. Like I'd be on the other end.
Okay.
And be like crossover and like high five and
Stage tomorrow isn't a T.
it's a massive stage. But yeah, no, Zach Bryan. I'm kind of obsessed right now. So
That's fair.
That'd be mine. Okay, now you had enough time to think.
I did have enough time to think. I'm going to pick two answers. I'm horrible at this. I would probably say it's actually not in the country world.
Okay.
Probably like, if I could pick anybody to perform a song with, it'd be probably like the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or like ZZ Top.
Yeah. Rolling Stones is like a testament to just like a testament to music is timeless.
100%.
You know, like Mick Jagger's got to be what, 80?
Yeah, he's 80.
Give or
now.
take?
Yeah, I think he just
You know,
turned
my
80.
dad saw him when he was like a little bit. My dad saw the Rolling Stones in the early 70s.
Wasn't he still performing?
Oh yeah,
does
they're on a
still.
world tour right now.
Right now.
Right now.
I think they've celebrated over 50 years together.
Yeah, I've seen him 3 times. I saw him in 2016, so he was 72, and I was like, I don't know if we're gonna have a chance to see him again. So me and my buddy drove to California when we were 19, went to a show down there, and it was Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Neil Young, Roger
Unreal.
Waters, and The Who.
That was mine when I saw Elton John. I was like, I don't know. He keeps saying it's the last tour. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Like,
When's the last tour?
Yeah, eventually, it's going to be the
You have
last
to-
one,
you have to
right?
keep going,
Totally.
yeah.
You have to go because it's fucking Elton John, right?
Yeah. And like the Stones have never said it's the last tour. They just keep touring. But it's like at one point,
Somebody's gotta
unfortunately,
go, like,
Someone's gonna pass, or
it will be the last tour.
yeah,
And
or they're gonna have to stop somehow.
yeah.
like my knees hurt and I'm 34. Like Mick Jagger, and he's like still fit too.
Well,
Oh,
it's just
yeah.
like nuts too. Just given like I think I don't know how to say this. Like maybe the industry and the partying back in the day versus now, what they put their bodies through,
Totally.
how they're still kicking at this age this hard.
Well, let's ask you this too. Do you think it was harder to tour back then or now? Because right now, because of technology, it's easier to promote the tour. Like people aren't like flyering like they used to be. They're like the press is a lot easier because it's more comfortable. It's a little bit, I think, easier. You do more shows on tours these days than you used to because of the flights and the traveling is a lot easier. But back then, I feel like the production was, people had to help out on their own production a lot of times too.
I think they're both hard in their own ways. This is gonna be a question, and I will stop myself if you haven't. Have you watched Daisy Jones and the Six?
No, but
You know about it, though.
I do know about it.
Okay.
And it is on my list of things to watch. I just
Please
haven't
watch
got
it.
there.
Please watch it. It's so good, and I think that's where I was thinking about like the whole like, because they're based off of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna stop
okay.
now.
No,
Anyways,
heard
Unreal.
of it. It's
You should
fine.
watch it.
Yeah, it's but the idea of like touring, I don't know if it would be harder on the body to tour now or if it would be harder back then.
I think it would depend on the scale
Yeah.
and the level that you were at.
Yeah.
Because I think there's probably there's a threshold that you cross, whether it was back then or now, where a lot of the things that are hard under this level of success are hard regardless.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pass that, I think you're probably still faced with challenges, just like different ones that I have no idea what they would be yet.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I don't know. Like, I think, well, let's say, okay,
I mean,
right now for you, if you could go, do you think touring now it would be easier for you now or 30 years ago? You personally.
For me personally, I think probably now. Probably just because we're more conscious about our health now than you would have been 30 years ago. So you're like...
Okay, so literally in Daisy Jones and the Six, and this is all I'm thinking about. No,
She really likes the show.
I didn't watch it for like a year and a half. My sisters were obsessed with it, and they're like, "You have to watch it." So we sat down every single night, and like I couldn't fall asleep until I finished some episodes. It was so good. But all I'm picturing is them like going on their tour bus and like the amount of blow. I'm sure it's still happening now, but like blow, drugs, alcohol that they were putting their body through, like overdoses. And then you think if there's more artists back in the day, like Whitney Houston, Amy Winehouse, it's not that back in the day, but like all these other ones who have put their bodies through so much on tour, like they're up till 6 a.m. I'm sure that still happens, but I just feel like it was more of part of like the 70s culture of like smoking weed, doing drugs, LSD, all that kind of stuff, versus nowadays it's more like you care about your body, you care about your mental health. That's very important. Artists are backing out of tours because their mental health means more to them. Their body means more to them.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's just, maybe that's, I'm just thinking of the show and like seeing them in the 70s, and it was absolutely insane.
Maybe that's because we're much more accessible, much more visible now as well.
Yeah.
Like everyone's on social media.
No
You
camera.
always have to be on. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, like,
There wasn't like days on the road between things where it's like you're not like posting on your Instagram story and
still-
stuff.
Or people catching you on your Instagram, like doing
Yeah.
something. Like
imagine now you're always working, no matter what.
You're
Like,
kind
even
of
the
like-
days you're not working, you're supposed to be working.
Totally. And you're kind of held accountable like 24/7 because if you're doing something wrong and someone pulls out their phone, it's like
You're fucked.
you're going to be held accountable for that.
well, so it's like imagine being on stage, absolutely smashed out of your mind, coked out on whatever drugs you're on, and you're on stage performing that. What would you do seeing an artist doing that now? You'd be like, hey, they're fucked, give me my money back. Back in the day, that was the norm. Oh, they're having a good time. They're like, whatever. Sorry, that's all I keep thinking about. You have to watch the show.
I don't know.
I wasn't even born, so I don't know. Maybe it wasn't like that.
I don't know. I feel like now it might be even harder because you're expected to work more.
Yeah.
Like, especially for you, like an artist like you were, you've come out with singles, you're touring, you're doing the right things. Well, you still have to be posting on social media every single day
Totally.
because you want to get to that next level. Again, once you hit that top tier, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Like Taylor Swift can do whatever she wants. The Justin Biebers,
But she still has to maintain it, and that's why she's doing a 5-year tour.
they're at the pinnacle. They can do whatever they want. That's it. Like Rolling Stones, they can do whatever they want. They don't have to do social media if they don't want to because they've made it. But the rising stars, the people that are in that middle ground, the people that are not selling out 500 person, 1,000 person shows, but still touring constantly. It's like, well, how do you get that extra 2 sales? How do you get that extra couple 100,000 streams on Spotify?
Or it's how do you get from Bud Stage to Scotiabank, from
Yeah.
Scotiabank to Rogers Center?
Or how do you get
There's
from
still that push.
Velvet Underground, Access Club,
Yeah,
even those?
No,
right?
it's every single way. There's a
and
push.
when you're always trying to get to that next level, right?
Totally.
And then even I guess with Taylor Swift, even once you sell at a fucking stadium, you want to do 3 nights at a fucking place. So I guess you're never done working. Whereas back in the day, I don't want to use Elvis because that's a bad example. But people, okay, you sold out an arena, that was good. You fucking made it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully you let
Or
us know
you're-
one day. Hopefully, it's like, fuck, 20 years ago was a lot easier, guys.
Or you're like Led Zeppelin and whatever the last show you played was in like 1980.
Yeah,
And you're still one of the biggest bands in the world.
Exactly.
Again, music is timeless, though, right?
I was gonna ask,
100%.
what's your dream venue to play at?
Dream venue.
Because sometimes that's an artist's like, this is where I've made it, and I don't need to go further. Is like, this is my dream venue.
Totally.
Sometimes.
You're right, 100%.
Sorry, I feel like you're looking at me like I'm
No,
saying something wrong.
I noticed. I started to cut you off. You know what I was thinking? We should actually meet before we start recording, when we meet them, because we know we're gonna ask this question. It's like our favorite question.
Yeah.
To ask, right? We should write down our guesses on a piece of paper
and see
then
if we
when
get it
they say
right.
If we get it right.
Okay, well, I have 2 answers in my head, so I'll give you 30 seconds. You can think of what it would be.
Okay, go give us one.
One of them would be like Red Rocks.
Oh, that's our favorite answer.
Guess that. Fuck.
Fuck, that's my answer. That's what I guess.
That's what you should have guessed. That's.
I mean, like usually that's like
Red
my
Rocks
backup
is-
because that's our
Have
like
you
dream
been?
venue.
I haven't been.
It's magical.
Yeah. They're like the Gorge, or my other answer is going to be like Royal Albert Hall.
I thought you were gonna say the Saddle Dome.
We played a Flames game there last year, which was pretty sweet.
That's like not a fucking sick thing.
It was super cool. There's 22,000 people. There was wild.
That's what I mean.
I was gonna say, what's the Saddle Dome?
It's the hockey arena there.
Oh.
So it's like it's their Scotiabank arena.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Right, like
But they're
a
going
ho-
to tear
I
it
feel
down.
Are
So, yeah, they're building a new one.
Okay, so you said Red Rocks or the Gorge, like a venue like that.
A venue like that.
What's the second one? Sorry.
Royal Albert Hall. It's like a big, massive hall in like London, in the
London,
UK.
England?
Yeah, in the UK.
And it's called. Sorry, say it one more time. The
Royal Albert Hall.
We've just in London. We've done London together twice. I don't even know what the place is.
Well, London's pretty damn big.
But like from
actually-
a major concert venue.
My dream is to, well, not my like dream. Like this is gonna happen. Like I really want to go see a show in London because I feel like the Brits are just insane.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so fun to go see.
Why London of all places?
It's like the hall there, because I like I said, I grew up on a bunch of blues stuff, and it's like a legendary venue where like all of the greats have played. It's this unbelievable looking theater. You gotta look it up after. Look it up right now.
She's doing.
It's just insane looking, and it's kind of like, I feel like in the world of like, especially the guitar world of guitar players and things like that, it's kind of like if you've played the Royal Albert Hall, that's like a
Like
massive check
yeah.
on the bucket list.
We've asked.
Oh, it's massive.
Oh yeah,
But that's what I'm saying. How have we not heard of this place?
I'll tell you where it is.
We've asked. At
watch
least
is probably not in London.
Yeah, imagine. We've
Okay.
asked at least like 50 people. So Red Rocks is a
No,
fairly.
we saw this on our bike ride on the first time. It's near Kensington Palace.
Okay.
Like, you know, this is like, okay.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
Chelsea's down there. It's right up there.
Yeah.
You should look at the inside of it. It's insane.
We've asked a lot of people. So Red Rocks is a fairly common answer.
Totally.
Usually, like, the major venue in their hometown is another major answer.
Yeah.
We've asked, again, 50 people this answer. We've heard about 70 answers, give or take. Royal Albert Hall, I've never even heard of. Oh, it's gorgeous, though.
Yeah, it's like insane.
So that... Right.
I feel like you, like, wow.
That's interesting.
That's I want to go see a show here.
This is completely off topic. If you weren't a musician, what would you do?
Well, probably either something in the music industry of some,
No,
or like out of music completely.
Completely out of. So it can't even be in a musical.
I would build like hot rods and motorcycles with my dad for sure.
Okay, I could see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
guaranteed.
That'd be cool.
He told me I'm not allowed to do that though.
Well, no, because we were just talking off air too, and I said some people are born with something that they have to do, and they're born with a talent, a God-given talent, or maybe it's a talent that you worked hard for. Like, you do a disservice to the world and to the higher ups or your parents or whatever you want to call it if you don't do that thing you were put here to do.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like, and musicians, it's one of those things, like, whether you've made it to the top or whether you're just fucking going day after day after, you have to do it because it's such a wonderful thing in the world, and you have no idea what can turn your, like, you could potentially, your next song could go viral on TikTok because someone liked your hair and your hat, and that 100% was the thing that blew up the fucking song. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm here for it if it
but,
happens.
but it goes back to the idea that you also have to put in the work in the background and do all the social media. And I know you're active on it too, which is like important. But yeah, in music, like, you never know what's gonna go.
I was talking to a friend about this the other night, and he's like, he's been in the music industry forever. He's played in a whole bunch of bands, and he's a guitar player and kind of like a session guitar player and producer. And he's like, every day is a lottery ticket. You never know. Like, you could write the song, you could play the show, you could meet the person. Every single day is a lottery ticket. He's like, I'm in my 50s, and every day is still a lottery ticket.
You never know. Well, look at Jelly Roll when he announced his thing. So he's been doing music for how long? Like, I think it's like 15 years or something, 20 years. He's like 38, I think. He was in jail last year. And during his speech at the CMAs, was it this year or last year?
Year.
I think it was this year. Yeah.
He said, he goes like, you know, who would have thought breakthrough artist of the year would be a 38-year-old guy who was like in jail. And then he said that legendary quote. He's like, there's a reason why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror. Look ahead, blah. I'm like, fuck, like, gives me goosebumps just thinking about that speech, because you have no idea what's going to, you're going to do the best of your abilities to show up every day and be the best version of you and put out the best product you can each and every day. And that should be everybody's goal everywhere, no matter
100%.
what you're doing. Music, finance, construction, content, whatever it is. And you have no idea what's going to be that one little thing that breaks you through. Like, it's just wild to think. I got deep there for a second.
I know.
A little too deep there. Anyways, let's reel it back. Okay, so if you weren't a musician, you'd be working on motorcycles, bikes, and doing that?
Probably.
With your dad?
I mean, I don't think I would ever do anything other than music.
Yeah.
But if the answer was that I can't do music, it would be that for sure.
I love that.
Okay, what in the music industry would you do?
I think
Other than like performing and writing.
if I couldn't like perform and write,
Somebody
it would
hypothetical.
be probably a producer. Like help other people's records come to life and bring their songs to life and see what we can make of it.
What makes you the most happiest about music? Like what do you love so much about music?
Playing live. That's the best thing about music, because I think, especially in the country world, like we were saying, you get to write these songs, and then when you get to play them out and you get to see the reactions of people and build those connections and talk to people after shows and build that like one-on-one relationship with all these different people everywhere you're going, and you get to see different people showing up at every town and meeting new people and seeing the same people show up time and time again, and there's literally no better feeling than being on stage. It's like, it would be the equivalent of my therapy. There's like, can be having the worst day in the world, no matter what is happening, get on stage, everything goes away.
So you can block off the rest of the world. You can have the
100%.
worst day of your life and walk on stage and just fucking kill it and have the best time ever.
100%. It
Wow.
makes everything go away.
Wow.
Can you see your audience?
Sometimes, I mean, depends on the lights. Sometimes the lights are pretty bright.
Do you prefer it, or do you prefer just being in your own space?
I like both. I think there's moments where it's really nice to have the lights. If you're like right at the start of the show, it usually takes like a song or two to get settled, kind of for everybody. It's like to like find your feet in the set, and So for like the first song, Bright Lights are pretty good, but it is really cool to have those moments in the set where you can see the crowd and like make that connection with them.
Danny, what about you? What's the one thing that you could be having the worst day and like what's your like it could be your therapy? So he just said performing. He could be having the worst day ever, gets on stage, and that's just
I don't
money.
know.
What's yours?
I don't know.
Well, think.
I don't know.
I think mine would be like a good workout. Like just when you know those days you get to the gym and just everything feels good and you're just you feel good. You walk out and you feel like that would be mine.
Like I don't think I have a consistent thing that could switch my day around that quick yet. But there's certain things that I can do. Like one day I could be having the worst day ever. I watch my
Daisy
new
Jones and the Six. No,
that's pretty good though.
Reality TV.
No, like I watch an episode
Below
of like
Deck.
like Summer House comes out, great episode, flips my day, I'm happy. Or I could be with like doing this podcast one day, having the worst day ever, and there's been some days where we come in here or like we're yelling at each other like top of our lungs. This actually happened a couple weeks ago.
Like 3 months ago, but it's counting.
2 months ago. I end up coming here, having one of my best episodes, left here, feeling great. I'm like, I don't care what we fought about.
Yeah.
It's done. I feel amazing right now. But then there's like, it just depends. Or like, I don't know. Going to the cottage in the summer. I could be having the worst week ever. I get up there. It's like I can escape. I need to switch off. So it's different for me.
Okay, yeah, that's a...
you have lots of outlets.
Yeah.
A lot of outlets. I can switch my day around quickly. If I'm around the right people. Maybe that's my thing.
So what do you do on the days you don't feel great but you're not performing?
They suck.
We're gonna see him play like next week. You think, I got 4 shows coming up today. Having a bad day. Everyone performing.
No, definitely going to the gym is a big one because it's like just like a massive. You release a bunch of energy. If you're super mad, you just lift heavier weights and it just you get it all out of you.
You know what the tough part is about the gym though is that some days I'm a very extroverted person where it's like I need to be around. I like being around people. Like I fill up my social battery surrounded by people.
Totally.
I work out alone every day. I put on my headphones and I just do my thing, and that's how I work out. But some days you feel alone, and then you go to the gym so that because that's therapy or whatever. But then you're there and you're at the gym alone. You're like, fuck, this is therapy, but I'd love to work out with someone just to have someone to talk to or hang out with or shoot the shit with. So
totally.
I actually thought about that a couple of weeks. I was like, fuck, maybe I should get a workout buddy. Like, I don't have one. I work out by myself. Like, in a small...
I'll come. I'll talk to you.
Not. No, absolutely not. So, did you watch Below Deck today?
Oh, come on. We have different...
Samantha fell off the boat today. It was wild.
We traveled together. We did not talk reality TV once, so chill with that.
Yeah, that's true.
I will not bring that up knowing you're there. Anyways.
Do you travel a lot?
Fair bit. I'd like to travel more.
You said you do Nashville a couple times. You're in Toronto. You said at least a couple times.
Go from here, land in Calgary, drive to Kelowna.
Yeah. So wait, what's in Kelowna again?
Private show that we're playing out there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
And then come back, go to PEI for Cavendish Beach Music Festival.
That's nice.
Out there.
Because that's like another Stampede kind of thing where it's like
they're trying to get us out there.
Yeah, the whole place. I don't want to say shuts down, but it takes
the whole place shuts down. I think there's like 130,000 people in PEI, and I think there's like 110,000 people at this festival or something.
Really?
Like
that's insane.
The whole province like doubles in population for the weekend.
Maybe we should go. When is it?
July
4th to 8th.
I can.
I got pickleball.
You just booked it.
No, another pickleball.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
that's I would.
Because I remember they reached out.
Yeah, Cavendish. I remember that. What would be like your dream festival to play?
Dream festival, probably like Stagecoach.
Stagecoach, unreal.
I've been to a couple shows there, like Rolling Stones one I went to was at the Indio Polo Grounds, and then just in October we drove down again and went to a rock show there that was a bunch of bands again. It was like Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Judas Priest, Metallica, Tool, and Guns N' Roses. Unreal. And just like the whole grounds and the whole setup there, just insane.
I've never been.
One of my friends was at Stagecoach this year, and she said it was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And just the same thing. Everybody's there having a good time. And country, maybe it's just recently, like you said, the last couple of years, country concerts are the fucking vibe.
They're great.
Well, so that's like, I feel like one thing in Toronto that's always been a thing is Bud Stage has great country shows.
Totally.
So it doesn't matter if you're a big country fan or not, you'll see a lot of people at these shows. But I find year after year, now people are becoming more invested in the country scene. And like, we didn't have great country bars now, but now I just feel like it's evolving more and more. And you actually have people listening to it outside of the shows.
Totally.
Like maybe just in our like our friend circle, but like I have way more country like friends who listen to country music than I did maybe 10 years ago. And like maybe my other friends, it's because we lived up north and that was kind of just more of part of our life.
Totally. Well, I think in the last 5 years, like country has become the most popular genre of music in the world,
which is insane.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which, because like if you
like
think
2 of my top 5 right now are country.
I think like the world too, like out in places where like they don't listen to country and like it's not a norm. It's a very North American thing. Country
you're right.
music.
You are 100% right.
Whereas like EDM stems from literally everything. Pop is universal.
Yeah.
Rap is universal.
Yeah.
Whereas country is really true based out of North America.
Yeah.
I'm
saying about that. I was trying to think where else in the world? Maybe Australia.
Australia's like gaining a huge following for country.
But again, gaining.
And same as the UK.
I
feel like it's because I was told this, I don't know this for sure, but like in the UK, they like live vicariously through the country music stories because that's not what their life is like there. It's like if you listen to like a Luke Combs song, like Beer Never Broke My Heart or something like that, like that's not day to day what they're doing in downtown London, but anywhere in Canada, you go to a rural country or like rural town,
and they're doing
there's like a rodeo and a bush party happening, but that's not happening there. So they're like living vicariously through.
So can I ask you, like, how's a rodeo? I've always wanted to go. How's
a rodeo?
Yeah, like what is it like?
It's good. It's
like what do you do there?
He's like, you fucking city folk.
Well, I'm a small town kid, so I'm not necessarily like a rodeo kid, but I did. Go to a lot of rodeos. Like
what do you do at a rodeo? Like what do they do at a rodeo?
There's like a cabaret, so there'd be like a bunch of bands playing in the evening. All day you watch the people doing like barrel racing and riding their horses, and then you drink a bunch of beer and
it's a big party.
Then you party at night. Yeah.
I wanted to ask something kind of off topic, but like your childhood friends, now they see, like, again, you're from a small town, they see, you know, you're traveling, you're playing shows all over like the country and everything. Like what do they say when they see you?
It's interesting. It depends on the response. Like I had like a couple really close friends in high school. Could not wait to finish high school and get out. It's actually our 10-year high school reunion this weekend, and I'm in Kelowna. But I'm coming back Saturday night for the Global News Thing Sunday, so I might try and pop
Squeeze
in there just to see what's happening. So my couple close friends from high school are still like my 2 best friends. And other than that, I don't really see anyone from high school or that because I
guess you're always on the move. Right?
Hung out with them in high school, and now if I'm going to hang out with anyone, it's still just them.
Yeah, that's the main crew. Because it's got to be like, it's so different, especially when you're from a small town, because a lot of people, I don't mean this disrespectfully to people from small towns, it's just a lot of times people from small towns don't make it out of small towns.
Totally.
Right? Like, whereas you're someone that, again, becoming a musician, people are going to be like, oh, well, you just want to play this. Okay, well, no, it's a fucking risk. Like, especially when you're from a small town, because you don't really have support in a small town.
Yeah.
Like if you're the biggest artist in your small town, cool, great. You've got a couple hundred subscribers or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Like, you have to like go to the metropolitan areas. You have to play the shows at every other small town all around the region to build that following, right? So it's interesting. It's tricky. It's tough.
Yeah, I think it was, I mean, definitely when I was younger, it was like, it's one of those things you're like, oh, it's the kid with the guitar that like thinks he's going to be famous or something. It's like, well, no, it's just like, it's not about that. It's just like,
I love this. Yeah.
Okay, I asked this question. I always find it so curious. How did you know you could sing?
I was gonna say, what's your aha moment?
No, that's different. Like aha moment. I'm always curious. Like, when is like your mom not telling you you're good? When is your mom and dad not being like, oh, you're the best singer? Like, how did you know you actually could sing and perform and do this?
Well, I started playing guitar first. So I started playing guitar when I was 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then I never started singing until I was 14. So I played guitar for a long time. And then I had written a bunch of songs, but I didn't know how to sing. Had never had a vocal lesson. Was like pretty shy against singing, actually. Like didn't want to do it for a long time. And then I'd written all these songs and I was like, well, I should like learn how to sing so I can sing these songs I've written.
But again, how'd you get into writing these songs? Like, just like, oh, you learned poems in English class, and then you go back and you're just like, or you're, you know what I mean?
Pretty
like,
much. I think just like,
very fair question.
I don't know. I always liked good stories. I was like, so to me, it was just like writing a story. So that, I guess, kind of comes back. I never answered that question fully before. It was like, how'd you get into country music when I was with like Southern rock and hair metal and stuff around me? But I always liked good stories, and I always liked songs that told stories. And so I think when I started writing songs, like playing guitar, I'd come up with guitar riffs and things like that. It's like, well, I should write some music to go with this. So I just try and write the best story I could that like took you on some sort of a journey. And then it's like, well, that's actually what country music is. But I didn't even really know it at the time. I just like wanted to write a good story. So I had all these songs that I'd written, these stories that went to music, and I kind of knew how they were, like I would sing them, but I didn't really know how to sing. So I actually went around to a whole bunch of different vocal coaches in like central Alberta, and everyone like tried to teach me how to sing in a very like conventional way of singing, in terms of like, you need to like sing the theater stuff and do this and do this. And it just was not clicking, wasn't working. And finally, they basically all dropped me as a student. And finally, I got one vocal coach that was like, after, I think it was the second lesson, she was like, why do you want to sing? Like, let's figure out why you want to sing, because then maybe we can figure out how to teach you how to sing based on what you want to do. And I was like, well, I wrote all these songs and I want to sing them. She's like, oh, great, you play guitar? I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, bring your guitar in and let's learn how to sing these songs. So the first vocal lessons that I had were like learning how to sing the songs I wrote, rather than like learning technically how to sing. Because that wasn't like, at the time, I wasn't technically learning how to sing. I didn't want to technically learn how to sing. I just wanted to learn how to sing these songs I wrote and how to make it sound good. And so she finally like looked at the situation and figured out a way to approach it so that I could.
Such a wholesome moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure when you finally, like, when it clicked, you're like, this fucking feels good.
But it's also
Absolutely.
like, you kept going. Like, a lot of people could have stopped after that first bad coach that wasn't working with your style.
Totally.
And everyone learns so differently. Like, if Ricky went to vocal lessons versus you, like, it'd be a completely different story.
No, it
or even me.
I would suck.
I know, but it's just, it's finding that person that works well with you. And I think that goes with everything in life.
Yeah, and you have to love it. You're not, anyone who thinks they're just gonna be good right away is out to lunch. Especially in music, when there's a lot of people doing it too. Where it's not like, okay, I'm gonna be I don't know, what's a very specific niche, like talent.
World's best yo-yoer.
Yeah, like, you know,
That's pretty hard.
you compete against like a couple 100,000 people in the world at most, maybe a couple tens of thousands of people at most. Like musicians, like there's a lot, right?
Totally.
So, especially in country in North America. So like, okay, why am I doing this? Was it because I want to be the biggest country singer in the world? No, it's like I wrote these songs that I generally think I love. Like I love to play the guitar. I love to write songs. I want to learn how I can play my own songs, and it's fucking wholesome and great.
Totally. And I think like looking back at it now, there's so many people that are like phenomenal singers, but they don't necessarily have like their own voice. Like there's people that are technically good at singing, and all of the other coaches were trying to technically teach me how to sing. Whereas when I finally got to this vocal coach, she was like, okay, well, let's find your voice so that you can sing these songs.
Do you co-write all your songs?
Now I do.
Yeah.
I write a lot of ideas down by myself and like kind of get things going and start them, but I haven't solo wrote a song in a long time. It probably should be a good exercise. I used to write just everything by myself, never co-wrote anything, and now it's been literally years since
there's like some people who they're in their career and they're not writing any of their songs. They're just the performers. So it's like I feel like different kinds of artists out there, like the ones who like write and sing. Well, I find that the same as co-writing too. Like you guys are in the process of it versus just someone giving you something and here you go perform. Like it's very different.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a right or wrong to it, because at the end of the day, it's like best song wins. And if someone came to me and was like, hey, I have this song that I think it'd be great for you, and it was a phenomenal song, I wouldn't be opposed to cutting it because I didn't write it.
I question about that. Like, would you want it, like if someone gave you a song and you're like, this is going to be a banger, this is going to get me to the top.
Yeah.
But it didn't align with anything you believed in.
I definitely wouldn't record it.
You wouldn't record it, yeah.
No.
But I feel like that's like, in country because you're again.
He's
you're
like, yeah, I'm
telling a
down.
story. No, I wouldn't either. Like again, what is something that you really don't believe in? Like, okay,
I don't know.
are
What
you a
if it's just
shitty person? Like,
probably just what if it's something just like doesn't align with your values in a certain way, or I don't know. Like there's
yeah,
obviously
you're
a way
telling
to
a story though, right?
I know, but there's obviously a way to put your spin on things, but there's so many artists out there that don't love the music they're putting out, but they're still putting it out there.
Yeah, but again, it's not like they don't align. Like again, if someone gave you a song, you don't love it, but they're like, this is gonna be a hit. It doesn't not align with your values. Like let's say it's just you just don't like the song.
Yeah.
You record it, the label's like, we gotta release it. It's gonna be a hit. Blah blah. They release it. It's a hit. Are you happy with it?
It's interesting because it's like I feel like there'd be nothing worse than blowing up for something you don't like.
Oh really? Okay.
I agree with that.
I think
Like I'd rather blow up first and then maybe release a song that I don't love.
I feel like if that
you blow up, you have the platform.
I was gonna say if that's the case that happens and you can use that to get people in the door, as long as you can make them stick around with what else you're doing. But if that's kind of like a song on an island and nothing else is like that, and then they come in and see what else you're doing and they don't love it, it's like, well, then we had one.
What? Yeah.
You almost have to continue in that path, and just like that could also just make you miserable, not like your career, and want to quit and get out of it just because you have to keep doing this thing that isn't you.
Well, what's the dream for you? What's the moment where you're gonna say this was what it was all worth?
I think the answer to that question changes as I go through life. At first, it was like,
goals, yeah.
Quit my job. I want to be full time. I want to be able to play music full time, not rely on any other income. And then it's like, okay, now I want to be able to travel around. I want to like expand out of the circle of what I'm doing. And it's like baseline, having like a sustainable career where you can show up, people will come to your show. And I was talking about this to a friend the other night, and it's like, maybe that's 500 tickets everywhere you go. Doesn't matter what city you go to, anywhere you go, 500 people are going to show up. Maybe it's 1,000, but I think it's, how do you have a career that's sustainable, that you can sleep at night with, you're happy with what you're doing, and I don't know, that's the goal to me. It's like, if I can do all those, if I can have a sustainable career and not hate myself for it.
The tricky part is too, because let's say you might say that's what you're going to say right now.
Totally.
Well, in a year from now, you might be doing that like easy all day long consistently, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm doing more than just a sustainable career. I'm doing good numbers. I'm making a very good living. Well, now the goal is, I want to be selling out 1,000-person venues all over North America.
Totally.
And then you go on that tour and you sell out those 1,000. We're just like, fuck, I need that 5,000-person venue.
The chase never stops.
That's what I'm saying. Like the goal, I don't think. Again, take away the people at the top. Let's get those middle-level people. I don't think any of them are going to say, yeah, I've made it. I'm happy.
No, they keep going and
That's
doing
what I
something
mean.
else.
Yeah.
You're never...
But there's also different ventures like they keep doing. Like if you look at someone like Luke Bryan, like he's now American Idol. Like that's other things that it's giving him access to.
That's
That
what I mean. Even
may
when you
have
make it
not
to the
been on
top,
his.
yeah.
It may have not make it on his list, but now it's there.
When you made it to the top, like there's always something else. Like, I'm fucking maybe Taylor
but it's in
Swift.
every
She's not even looking
career.
at music anymore. She's thinking, I'm going to be a politician. I'm going to be the governor of Tennessee or something. I don't know what she.
Yeah, but it's like with every career. Like at Metric, like do you guys like you continuously want to do better? You're never going to stable out. As an accountant, there's something I always can do better.
So what's one thing you want to do better?
Right now, I need to get to my baseline. Get my CPA and run.
Daddy's not even chasing that.
I'm like,
I want that baseline.
I want to just get my CPA and relax for 6 months at least.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because I've been chasing this for too long.
That's fair. That's fair. Well,
what about you?
Fuck. I awkwardly hit a lot of my goals in the last like couple of years.
That's amazing.
I'm very content and very happy with my life and everything I've done and where I've got and all the shit I've done. Like I had 3 of the best moments of my life last year alone, which was crazy. This year, some like personal, like a side job that I have, I hit all my goals already. I'm like halfway through the year, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy. Now I'm on a little bit of a health kick right now. I'm trying to cold plunge 3 times a week, work out every single day and do that. But the basic for me is just live life and have fun. I was saying this earlier, maybe to her, to someone else, that while I'm what you see, I want to make sure that I do the higher powers above or my parents or whoever made me like this. I want to make sure that I'm living and doing this to the fullest of my ability, because if I'm not, I'm doing a disservice to whoever made me like this. I don't have a talent like you have, where it's, you have a talent, you know what your talent is. I don't have a talent like that, but I have a good energy where I can walk in a room and I can make people feel good about themselves. I'm not saying light up a room, but I have something that not many people have.
Well, that's a different talent.
Yeah, it's a different talent. It's not a quantifiable one, or one that you can physically see. You can
No, it totally
listen to.
is.
It's not one you can listen to or see, but it's a thing that I think I have, and I'm gonna make sure that I live life every fucking day until the day that I don't have this ability anymore, because one day I'm gonna be old and my knees are not gonna fucking function.
It's not working right now.
And I'm not going to look like this. And I said, one of the days, and I'm going to look back and say, fuck, I remember those days that I had that power, I had that ability, I had that energy. And I'm not going to say, fuck, I wasted it. I'm going to say, no, fucking right, I lived and I saw some shit. So I guess that doesn't really answer the question at all, but kind of answers the question.
Yeah, totally.
In the long run. We are nearing that point. So I want to say, what's next for you? I feel like you've got a lot happening, a lot on the go. Like, what's the rest of the year look like for you?
Rest of the year is super busy. Just finished a record.
Fuck, we never talk about the record.
I was
Let's
just
talk about
about
the
to
record. Yeah, like because our thing is we try not to talk about the record.
100%.
You would have talked about the record every other place you've gone to.
100%.
And then so we were like, hey, let's start and then it just never really gets back to it. Like, we've had episodes where we've done 2-hour-long episodes sometimes, like, and at the end, like, we're just ignoring the PR people, and the PR people are like, the record, we gotta go the record. I'm like, fuck, I fucking. Okay, tell us about the record. Sorry.
Record is going to come out later this year. Just finished it. It was a massive project. Has a lot of songs on it. And we haven't really announced anything about the record yet. New single comes out next week. That'll be kind of the single for the summer. Be kind of the launching point heading into the album release, which is happening in the fall.
Okay, so you're going to have a very busy year.
Yeah.
Between traveling, do you plan on doing a tour around the album?
There is. Yeah, we're working on that. We're getting everything locked in right now. So it'll be in the fall. As of now, it's looking like Western Canada with maybe like a couple dates out here.
Okay,
but
cool.
less out here just because of travel and bringing the band and doing all that stuff. So
that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration behind the album?
It's kind of all of the life lessons that I've learned to this point through the ups and the downs, and it's everything I've learned to this point that has got me to where I am.
I see the mind work in the
and
background.
I'm excited.
Like, fuck, yeah.
I'm excited to share these stories of the ups and the downs and the good and the bad and
the peaks and the valleys.
Yeah, all that I've kind of learned up to this point, and then also to like close this chapter.
I love that.
Put a seal on. That was the start of where we got, what led us to here.
And it's always part of the story, right? Whether it's the good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly.
Totally.
It's all about the story. And I guess this kind of loops back to the beginning where you said like country music is all about telling your stories. And
100%.
I feel like that's why a lot of people relate and resonate so much with country music, because you listen to it, you're like, fuck, I feel that.
Totally.
I feel that.
And I think the biggest thing is like, hopefully the stories that I'm sharing in this record, people can take and put their own spin on and relate it to something that they're going through in their life. And maybe that helps them through a tough time, or maybe it amps them up for a party that night, or whatever it is. It's like
I'm going through a breakup,
exactly,
or about to get in a relationship, or like you said, going to a fucking party.
Exactly. So yeah, it's kind of all those life lessons that I've learned at this point.
That's fair. Well, Devin, we appreciate you coming on. If people want to find out more about you, your music, where can they go? How can they find you?
You can find me at Devin Cooper Music on all my social media platforms. Website is devincoopermusic.com, and shoot me a message. We'll be friends. Hang out. Come out.
You're the second person in maybe the last couple months that said that. Like, one guy gave his phone number on the podcast. He's like, he's in wealth management. He's like, yeah, like I don't use social media, but if you want to hit me up, like I'd love to chat with you. Gave his phone number. Like, holy fuck, like not like this podcast, hundreds of thousands of hits, but like, yeah,
it could.
Still.
But then it's just like, yeah, it's like hit me up. I'd love to be friends. Like, I love that. Do you respond to every DM?
Yeah,
I love that.
Usually,
is it you or like anybody in the back?
It's me.
Okay, good.
100% me.
Yeah.
Because
you see a lot of these guys now where it's like, text me. It's like, I know that's auto generator. Like,
yeah.
That's a team. Like, I'm not stupid.
Totally. No, I reply to everything. It's just me. I'm the only one on my socials. If I'm posting it, it is me on my phone, shooting the message, making the post.
I love that.
So.
Love that. And Danny, anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Anyways, Devin, appreciate you coming on. Wish you all the best. Guys, if you made it to the end, make sure you check out his music. Stay tuned for the new album coming out and the new single. And then stay tuned for tour dates as well in the fall. And
Absolutely.
hopefully if you have one in this part, let us know. We'll definitely love
or somewhere kind of we can get to. Well, we can get to
even if
anywhere.
it's within the region. Like
Yeah.
We'll be out this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to be somewhere in this vicinity, right?
100%.
Like, somewhere in this vicinity. So, again, guys, you made it to the end. Give Devin a follow. Give Danny a follow. Give myself a follow. And other than that, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Cheers.
You like to drink and to smoke to take away the pain. And I don't remember all of my mistakes and every high. Got alone with no one thing. And I